Sometimes you have people that are constantly down, depressed, sad, and they're thinking bad thoughts. And with those people that are thinking bad thoughts, they could bring the bad upon themselves. You know, there are some people that are so cautious in life, and they always think of the negative. Yes, it's good to be cautious. Yes, it's good to go and realize where you should trust, where you should not trust, where you should hold yourself back, where you shouldn't hold yourself back. But you have to take it to a certain level. Because if you're constantly thinking bad thoughts, you could bring the bad upon yourself. Now the question that we have to ask is that, wait a minute, thoughts pop into my head all the time. How could I be in control of my thoughts? I'm constantly having 1,000 thoughts come into my head. If you're a female, you're having 10 billion thoughts at one shot into your head. The truth is, if you're a man, you're having like one thought, and that sort of daydreams into like 7,000 other thoughts. But, people are constantly having like bombarded with thoughts. Are we in control of the thoughts? How can we go? And if you're telling me right now that the thoughts have a power that it could result in the reality you could bring back. If you think bad things, it could actually bring the bad upon you. But that's not fair. I don't have control over my thoughts. So the answer is there's two different types of thoughts. There's something called the machshavos. There's something called the fleeting thoughts. And there's something called hirurim. So you have machshavos and you have hirurim. Machshavos are fleeting thoughts. In the Gemara in Kedushin, page 48 goes, Machshava tova mitzarefes lemaisa. Somebody has a good intention, Hashem adds it to the reward as if he fulfills a mitzvah. You have a thought to do a mitzvah, you get reward for that. But if a person intends, has a machshava of committing some sort of averah, transgression, but yet refrains, key word here, from committing that sin, he's not punished for that sin. That's a machshava. So machshava is sort of a fleeting thought. If you have a fleeting thought, for the positive, you get rewarded. For the negative, you don't have to worry about it. Again, depending on certain criteria, we're not going to go into all the details of the machshavos. But then there's something called hirurim. Hirurim is something else. It's not a fleeting thought. It's a thought that you dwell upon. You picture it taking place. The Gemara in Yuma, page 29a, goes and says the hirurei, the dwelling, the thinking and the dwelling upon the sin is kashin ma'avera. It's worse, it's more severe, it's harder than the sin itself. Now, I'm not going to go into all the details on what the Gemara says. The Rabbeinu Bachai goes and it gives a beautiful examples on like why is thinking of the thought worse than actually doing thinking of a sin. Why is that worse of actually doing the sin? We're not going to get into all that detail, but we see over here that if you go and if you dwell on the sin, meaning that you sort of like ponder upon that and you recycle that in your head, that's where it's a problem. Meaning, so that, let's try to make this very clear. If you have a fleeting thought in your head and you push it out right away, nothing to worry about it. You don't have to worry about all the angels taking place, that are negative angels created from it. But if you have a thought, a bad thought, and you start dwelling upon it, that's where you have to start worrying about it. And Rabbeinu Yonah goes and says that because of this, this and many other things, in times of tragedy, in times of dire need, a person should never give up hope. You should never go and say, there's no hope over here. Because we have to know that always Yeshuat Hashem Keravayin, that we have a positive thought and we dwell upon that, that gives us a positive, angels that go and fight for us.